Hello.
Get started in a couple minutes, like per usual. I'm gonna go get a drink and
What are you grabbing?
my last vanilla cream, probably, unless you want it.
No, but will you grab me a sparkling water, please?
Yeah, of course.
I'm just trying to not look like death right now. Yeah, it is. Because I feel like every time we do this, I end up looking terrible. So, just trying to not look terrible for a little bit. But we'll be starting soon. So, feel free to hop in. Let us know if there's anything that you want to chat about. Also, feel free to email us, inspiringconversation@gmail.com, and you can find us on Instagram as well, if you are interested. Just getting myself together. Nope, here we go. Thank you.
You are welcome. My deck is still over here. Delicious.
Yeah. So yesterday we had a great chat.
Yeah. It was very nice.
Grab a drink, come settle in and join us.
We're still getting settled ourselves.
Yeah. Just figured we'd give ourselves some time. Is this okay? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to unwind from the day and just get settled in for a fun evening of chatting and tarots and anything else that comes across.
Our conversational table.
Yes, absolutely.
I like it. Sounds good to me.
I am a mess, I feel like.
You're fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sick. I forgot about that. We didn't do that before. Looking good. Nice. Gotta. You flexing?
Just sitting. Do you have
Give me some of that muscle action.
anything interesting to share?
For my day? Let's
You didn't
see.
say anything off the top?
So, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole today.
Mm.
I learned that this Italian conservation group is unhappy with the lack of flora and fauna emojis that adequately represent the diversity of these things. Specifically, mushrooms and insects is what they came to discuss. And that they were hoping to see more
Representation?
correct. Which I just found kind of silly but also fun. But it led me to think about how emojis are very often used as complete conversations.
Oh, yeah.
And then it got me thinking about just the evolution of language and hieroglyphics, and if we're seeing a devolution of language. I don't know if that's a real word. But basically the undoing of language in like this regressive state where we're going back to hieroglyphics. And then I listened to a hieroglyphics podcast. This was my like wormhole that I fell into. And then I listened about hieroglyphics in Egypt and just how for so long the visual representations were seen as being very, I don't know, like easy, not considered a complex language, and they actually are. And there are many like versions, like it's not just the hieroglyphics, like that's only one. There are like 4 other versions of it, basically.
You're talking like pictographic, right?
Well, I was specifically looking at Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Right.
But they have like, there's like demonic lettering. I believe it's demonic. Demotic, okay. I was like, demonic is cool as shit. Like, I am going to use demonic lettering on everything.
I don't know anything about it, but I think I've heard
Apparently that word is Greek.
Okay,
and that's what they used to describe. But so there are different forms. So the demodic was like the discussion, like basically I think of like street talk, not necessarily slang, but it was like the everyday speech, versus the visual pictograph hieroglyphics we're used to that were considered very academic and prestigious. They were used with like holy people, and that was kind of the original text.
Interesting.
So I fell into this wormhole all thinking about emojis, and the entire time wondering, like still keeping in my head that my first question was, are we seeing the evolution of language to emojis, and is that devaluing language and communication?
Right, going backwards some.
Right, and then hearing about how Egyptian language through their images was not a like illiterate, unintelligent thing, but a very precise, scholarly, academic thing. And then when I was learning just about the different ways of reading things, I thought it was so cool. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to learn this right now, and I want to uncover text. Like, just because it sounds like a fun game to a weirdo like me who loves language and all of that.
No, I think that's really cool too.
But yeah, I just thought it was interesting, and like, so going back to the Italian conservation group, part of their claim in wanting more variety in these emojis is because they feel it could target a broader audience and use more precise language when discussing things, which I just thought was just interesting. Because I don't just speak in emojis.
No, I feel like that's a younger person thing, kind of.
It is.
Not that we're super old or anything, but...
No, but I think it's interesting to see, like, if it becomes the norm. Like, a lot of younger people, like, even just 10 years younger than me, struggle to write an email, like a professional email. And not that they can, or they're unskilled, but it's not a habit. They don't check their personal email. Like, it's not something that they are accessing and constantly doing.
Right.
And when they describe like their college experience with this stuff too, it's like very different, where I was expected to be on my email regularly.
Oh yeah.
So it's very interesting to me.
Well, that was the way you got communications. Like, if you didn't pay attention to that, you're likely to miss something that you needed to know, and that's your fault.
Yeah. So I just find it interesting, and I don't know. I also love emojis. Like, I would like more precise emojis and variety because of the English language learners that I instruct.
Right.
I use emojis often to sometimes give their mind a break, where I want them to maybe do some other task rather than worry so much about like reading the words or listening.
Right.
But I want them to know what's going on or what the topic is. So emojis have been excellent to help people learn the language.
So where the heck am I? The 2 cards that aren't actually part of the deck?
They're not in there anymore.
No,
Are they mixed in with this book at all?
No, because they're bigger than the book.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's odd. Maybe I stole them.
No, I mean, they might
accident?
just be still like on the desk somewhere, like under my laptop, maybe here, the camera.
Yeah, so tell me, Slim to the gym,
Yes, my dear Anna Marie.
what do you feel about emojis?
Oh, I like emojis. I think they're fun, but I think they're fun. I don't think they're a language that in and of themselves, like not a super effective one. So I don't see them ever like fully devolving. When you want to communicate with someone, like even wait here, I think I found them. Even your native tongue sometimes feels inadequate, right? Where you're like, but I don't feel like I have the right words to express. So, like, I can't see people using just emojis, for stuff like for that reason, because people are passionate, and when there's passion, you want clarity and communication, and there's too much. I feel like there's too much.
So you feel that emojis prevent or inhibit clear communication?
I guess. I mean, it depends, right? I mean, it's weird because now you have, like, with AI and stuff, you could be, like, creating emojis on the fly.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I guess maybe not. I don't know. I feel like words are maybe... I don't know. I guess I could see it. I don't know, because it's just different. It's not... I don't know that one's, like, necessarily inherently better.
Yes. Is there anything that you think
My
could
favorite
be...
is the guy with sunglasses.
Why? What does that mean to you?
Like, cool. Yeah, like, just cool.
I'm curious if anybody, like, what it means to, like, younger people, too.
What an old guy thinks is cool.
Yeah, right? Because it's probably something else entirely. They're like, no one uses that because all you old guys use it.
Yeah, because all you old people think it's cool.
Yeah, so we just refrain from using it so we don't get associated as an old person. Do you think that there is anything that could be done to emojis to make them more precise?
Well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit already. Like, some of it's, like if you can make them on the fly, if you can make them individualized for the person you're communicating with and the situation, then, like, how is it different than words, really? Like, there's not, there isn't, it's just as, like, sort of customizable.
Yeah.
Except you don't have, I guess, maybe, I don't know, there's still... I don't know, it's weird when you're communicating a message in any medium or format, right? There's always something that is, like, unsaid or unable to be said, and it's, like, the idea of your communication, right? And so, like, because I'm sure you've had it, everybody's had it happen, where you, like, somebody, like, you understand, like, you get it, like, and they're like, no.
You're right.
What? Like, what? No.
Yes.
And you're like, all right. Well, I don't know how else to say it, really. Like, that's kind of just how it is, but if you don't understand... And so you're at, like, a weird... where you're, like, telling them what it is, but they aren't understanding, and you're, like, at a loss for words to convey the message you want to... And so I could see that happen in pictures as well. I don't see why not.
Definitely. I also wonder what global emojis are the norm. I imagine that there's some used in America that maybe aren't used in the same way or less frequently in other places.
Well, yeah, but that's true with language too, right? So your slang is very localized, and so...
Well, yeah, but it's also interesting. Like, that's
definitely.
what I mean. Like, I'm curious about it, and like, what is, like...
Does the eggplant translate to Australia, China, right? No, but seriously, but that's, you know what I mean? Like, ones that people know, where it's like, oh, I know what that is.
Or, like, the wink face, or, like, the blowing a kiss, or, like, what are those things?
Right, how are they interpreted?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I find it really interesting. And I feel like something I've noticed is that obviously there are groups of people, usually minority populations, that grow up learning how to code switch. And I see that being accessible and used the same way with emojis. But I also see some populations that have never even encountered this idea, like always existing in their privilege, that they just continue to bring in emojis everywhere that they speak, not realizing that it's not the best way to communicate, and it doesn't show your skills or your contribution in a way that is accessible to everyone in this field or category or whatever, whether it's work or some other place. And it's not to say that it's wrong, but it is kind of like code switching, essentially, right? Like, I don't use the same emojis with my friends that I do with you, that I do with colleagues.
Yeah.
Like,
True. Yeah.
Yikes, that would be embarrassing.
That's true. No, that's very true.
Right? So it's just interesting. I'm like curious about it. Like, I wish that I could be like just like a quiet observer of the like emoji language and how it progresses. And I wonder if I'll be alive to see it, or if I'll always be like too old to get it. Like, just on the outskirts, you know, where it's like, yes, I use it, but I'm not that cool. I don't know. These are my dreams.
Huh.
What, you got the same one?
No, I got the Hermit today.
Because you're feeling like a hermit.
I'm always sort of feeling like a hermit.
Flex those guns.
I am sort of a hermit.
Look at me checking you out. I'm like, yeah,
Taking my
yeah.
card. Let me read what it says about the Hermit.
Wowza.
It's part of the major.
I feel like the light is so off in here.
I know, I don't know why.
And it's like the brightest, right? And I'm like, I don't understand. Everything's at its brightest. There are so many lights. And it is just like we're in some hazy, dark space.
Yeah, it should be pretty normal.
We're in a dungeon right now. Well, we don't have that one on.
No, we didn't have this one yesterday.
Yeah, but it does give us like clear light.
The Hermit.
Is
So it was
the
upright.
hermit. Yes.
Inner journey. Guidance. Solitude. The card of the Hermit portrays an old man dressed in a robe with his head covered by a hood, holding a staff and a lantern. His bright lantern is a beacon to those seekers dedicated to finding him. Already on his spiritual path, he won't seek out students, but will accept those who come to him. He chose the solitary path to help him focus on only what was necessary for reaching that point of awareness. The Hermit is an elder who has devoted himself to the craft of knowledge. Within his lamp is the light of wisdom.
I like that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting.
Any personal thoughts connected to it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm a seeker, I think, and I have, tendencies to isolate myself, but I'm not walking a solitary path. I'm walking with you, so.
Yeah, I was actually thinking more of in terms of maybe what you need to do, and not like, oh, part for me, but in terms of some of the other roles that you have in life where you are, part of relationships that maybe you need to spend more solitary time.
Maybe, yeah, I could see that.
With your own light kind of thing, instead of being with others.
Right. No, no, yeah. Yeah, that makes some sense, yeah.
You know, like you have your own
That's
skills
cool.
and sense and stuff, but you're...
Yeah, it's just, art is just so cool.
I know, I really love the movement in the clothing. That
Yeah.
is something that's just
The
stunning.
flowing beard and...
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that they can be so beautiful for just black and white, too. Like,
Really impressive.
they really are. Alright, the Hermit. Interesting. I think I got the Hermit recently as well.
Yeah, I think so. Alright, what do you got? Let's see.
You
Are
ready
you gonna-
for me?
Yeah, you gonna pull a card?
Did you
Oh.
uncover anything interesting today?
Nothing in particular. No. That I can think of.
I always have these in such odd ways. So nothing in particular. Well, you didn't do your homework.
Not well, no. I mean, I listened to some interesting podcast stuff today, but I can't remember now, like, what,
Death.
yeah, what much of it was.
Is it death and
Kind
despair?
of busy. No, it was just, like, weird stuff.
Tuesday's a poppin' night.
What?
I'm joking. Because
Yeah.
it's never is.
Yeah.
Mondays aren't bad, but Tuesdays are always slow.
What do you mean Tuesday? The day?
Oh, on here.
Oh. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I honestly forget about it sometimes.
You're like, what? On where? Like,
Oh, right, the stream that
the
we're doing.
thing you're doing right now? Get it together.
Yeah, sorry.
And he just leaves. Abandons me. The hermit that you are.
I'm just off camera. I'm not.
He just left. He left the whole facility.
I'm not 3 feet from you.
Alright.
Those lights. I am a big fan. Maybe that's better. Maybe it was an angle thing. Catching too much of the white ceiling.
Maybe.
Let's see. I'll keep an eye on the screen to see if it flashes more. Yeah, well, there we go. There's flashing.
Hmm. Eight of Swords.
8 of Swords.
Yikes. This is gonna be a challenge. I just gotta chill. Ugh. I mean, I just think because I'm cold, but also maybe there's spirits here. You never know.
What's the 8 of Swords about?
Okay. There is a pattern as intricate as the 3 knotwork diamond panels which balance the swords. The Celtic Picts developed the knotwork interlacing with great skill and artistry. It is
That's cool.
a geometrical pattern used as a symbol of the continuity of life. The design represents a complicated spiral that forms a maze or labyrinth and is relative to the card. There's a locking in of energies, which places the querent in a restricted position. The card shows too much attention to detail at the expense of more important matters. The mind becomes a prison of ideas which cannot be readily expressed or exploited. The situation is altogether too intense and claustrophobic, a time when indiscretions will occur by not thinking of the consequences. Some success in private matters is possible, but it remains an isolated case rather than producing further progress. So the querent may become involved in short-term projects that lead nowhere in particular, but allow some latitude of thought, a time for reflection rather than action.
Interesting.
So I asked more specifically today, like, what do I need to know for January? Because I feel like, I don't know, we're starting like a new year and I'm already thinking of that kind of concept, you know?
Yeah, trying to prepare, right? I understand.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking of. Like, what do I need to see? So I guess in a sense, maybe not allowing myself to get so caught up in intricate thoughts and details, and actually like try to keep focusing on the bigger picture, long-term goals kind of thing. Is that a good takeaway that you can see?
Absolutely. I think it ties maybe even in a little bit to what we were talking about this weekend, like not trying to do too much. You know, just to feel like you're doing something. Like, that's not always like the best. Like, you are a very productive person. You don't need to always be doing something to be feeling productive. You can be resting and feel like, I've worked hard all week and did X, Y, and Z so far this weekend to prepare myself for next week and meet my responsibilities. So, like, if I don't want to go do a hot holiday thing, I can just stay home and enjoy a holiday thing. You know, like, it doesn't have to be a...
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I could see that. I also just, you know, this time of year, well, really it's not this time of year. This year it's coming up sooner, but like dealing with seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Does at that, you know, for January make me like feel more trapped in every way. Like the weather traps me, the cold, you know, like us considering moving is another aspect of being trapped, like work, like all of those things.
This the gray feeling is
yes.
like, feels like you're trapped under the clouds.
Ugh, yeah, it's a terrible feeling. So like just thinking of that and how often when I have that feeling, it's like my mind does kind of run a bit wild at times if I don't work at keeping it tied in. But yeah, sometimes I get a little over the top if I am like trying to alleviate some of my like stress and awful thinking. Then it becomes that overproductive way of dealing with it that's not even really productive. It's like a time waster,
right?
But it makes me feel like I'm doing something,
right?
Which sometimes is okay, but like you were saying, sometimes it's exhausting,
right? And not all that productive. So it's
right. So then I'm just depleting myself and not getting anything done,
right.
So that I can't harness that energy
for later
when it would be productive and feel good at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, so I just need to like keep that in mind for January, maybe. Like, don't get swept up in those thoughts and those fine details, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. It's tough. It is tough.
I know, because I've already been feeling
it's
so
like,
down.
just be mindful all the time.
Right?
And not sweat the small stuff, because that's what it takes to recognize it. Like, well, 99, really, almost all of it is just small stuff when it comes down to it, you know?
Yeah. I think also, too, in the winter, like these months, I'm always dreaming of a vacation, like away, you know? I'm like, okay, like...
Right, go somewhere
someplace warm. Yeah, to just, because I feel like, oh my gosh, if I just had like one long weekend someplace, like I could like get through, you know? Like, I'm like, all right, like... a long weekend in Miami.
Was it, what, last year we were in Louisiana?
That was in November.
Oh, okay. So not
So
late enough.
it was like but yeah, not usually where, because normally it hits harder after the holidays, so I'm surprised that I've been like feeling a bit more of it lately. But like I said, there are all these other situations that lend to that too. But yeah, normally it's like February. February gets me.
Yeah, no, February is, I think, I'm so glad that's a short month because it's a pretty terrible one.
No, and then like our, family member that doesn't drink for February because it's a short month, but like that is when I need a drink the most. Because it's the worst month.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And I like Valentine's Day because I always enjoy it with like my students, right? Like it's just like a friendship day, and it's cute. It's cute and fun and pretty colors and like love and hearts. And then like it's like right after that, like give me 3 days and I am deep in despair. Like it's rough. And then March, ugh, man. So yeah, I'm like, I've been like, okay, so where are we going? We have to go somewhere. Where are we going? What is it that I'm going to need? Like, what am I going to be able to do?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Like, don't stress. But I just worry about my own well-being in those months.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but you need a heated pool.
No, they're rough months.
They really are. And I just think the odds are stacked against us lately in terms of like that kind of thing, that I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty good idea.
I'm not making it to March.
Yeah, that's tough. I think I'm about ready to call it. I'm hungry.
So. We've done, 32 minutes? It's not bad.
No, not terrible. It's
Yeah,
a slow Tuesday, as you were saying.
It's a slow Tuesday. And I'm tired all the time.
Yeah, me too, man.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, if not before then, who knows? We could always drop in on a special occasion.
Yeah, because it's vacation time.
Next Monday, 5 o'clock for sure. Easter.
Well, is that a holiday?
Oh, jeez, that's Christmas, right?
So maybe not.
Maybe not on Christmas Day.
But whatever. You'll see us when you see us. You know what I mean? All right.
Who knows? Maybe if we're around. We got nothing else going
7 days,
on Christmas.
6 days, 5 days.
Yeah, we'll do a holiday schedule, I guess. If we don't do it on the holidays.
Yeah.
Expect the days after.
We'll be flexible. We just want to roll with it. So roll in, and maybe we'll be here, maybe we won't.
Yeah, have a happy holiday, whatever you're celebrating.
Yeah.